Does anyone else like elves more than dwarves? Well, I might be in a minority there. We got a lot of dwarves in our community. And I've got a couple games for you today where I matched up with my elves against Chorty's dwarves. Chorty was the, I believe, the runner-up of the second Turin beginner tournament for the Age of the Ring Battle for Middle-earth 2. And we go a couple matches one-on-one with him today. Chorty spawning up on the yellow on Erebor, and myself, your host Davok, in the dark green in the bottom right corner on Rivendell, my beloved Rivendell. My favorite faction for sure, though I've been branching out a little bit. These days I like Rivendell, I play some Lothlorien as well to lean into the elf themes, and I also like a bit of Rohan, especially now that they got patched. They were apparently bugged for a little while, and we're getting a lot more money than they should have, but Rohan's still awesome, like them a lot. But today we're showing you elves, Rivendell versus Erebor, and we've got Chorty as a very aggressive dwarvish player. We could see he's gone 2 mines straight into barracks, and now he's got a builder running way forward, setting up a mine right here, right around the mid-range of the map, but firmly on my side of our river here. We're on Spooky Eisen today, so we've got the spooky dance party going down with a little white king here and some skellies doing a little bit of a dance. I've gone quite greedy. I've gone straight for Rivendell orchards, and I've been spacing them way back so I could fit more in rather than bundling them close to my fortress to protect them. I'm banking on being able to protect them myself. I've gone straight into a Breland encampment with some bounders. I've also got a Dunedain gathering up right away. And I thought I started making guys right away from it, but apparently I misclicked or forgot about it. Chorty over here went straight into spears and started creeping the war glare here, and has also got his little builder down here ready for a second mine. Now I'm aware of his shenanigans. I know he likes really aggressive mine placement, so we go hunting right off the bat. My bounders come out. We do find this builder down here, so we're going to try and catch him. Dwarves finish cleaning up that camp, that creep camp, and I'm not looking, so I'm still trying to chase the builder. The builder gets away. Dwarven axemen come out, beeline it for my base. Dwarven spears come in to clean up the hobbits. I think the bounders would actually trade okay into spears, but instead we opt to sort of run into the base. Bounders up north. We find another mine here, but this mine's already loaded up with warriors who pop out to defend it. Another mine coming up in the back here, and we've got dwarves in the base already. I've got some more bounders in mid. I got bounders top, bounders bottom, bounders mid, but we're not really on targets, really. We're trying to chop this mine up a bit, but it looks like he's going to get the defense with his... Oh, and he pops a heal on it, too. He's opted for the dwarven skill to repair his structures. Meanwhile, down below, we got dwarven spears and axes, and they take down the first orchard. I have Dunedain outriders coming out shortly, but there are spears here, so I gotta be careful. Trying to get my bounders chopping up spears. Meanwhile, we're running hobbits around his base, but he's already got dwarves tasked on us. We've got more hobbits coming in here, but all of his mines are built way out on the map, so we don't find any good choices, any good targets in his base. We do manage to get our Dunedain outriders around to charge down his swordsmen, and some Tookish archers and some bounders are able to chop up the spears. We lose one orchard here. We take some heavy damage on the Dunedain outpost, but it lives, and our first squad of rangers are on the field. Rangers of the North. If there's one thing the dwarves hate, it's being shot with arrows, and there's going to be, spoiler alert, a fair bit of that this game. I know he's got stuff out to the west, so immediately my bounders and my outriders headed to the west. We catch some dwarves coming out of the tunnel, get a nice trample on them, but he's expanding really aggressively up north. Tunnel here, tunnel here, tunnel here, tunnel here. 4 tunnels just outside my base, and out come a dwarven horde out of the tunnels, straight onto my unfortunately placed forge. Rivendell forges are important to break down because they need time to level up. The better upgrades like swords and armor and arrows are only after the forge has been around long enough to earn income to level up. And if you destroy it, it loses all that income, and I'm going to have to rebuild it and wait time again for it to level up. There's no way to pay, really, to get the faster level up. But we've got a pitched battle here. A lot of Dwarven spears, at least, but I'm able to find some okay tramples, being very careful with my Outriders. But most importantly, we've got Rangers of the North and a whole boatload of 3 squads of Tookish archers here. So we don't really need to engage with this Dwarvish force. We could kind of let them batter away at buildings and pick them off, get some good value. Unfortunately, I do send a builder over here, and he gets caught and smacked down by the dwarves. That was not ideal, but otherwise, we've got a nice mass of units here. He was focusing on the Breland encampment. That's not a great idea. Encampment's got a pretty decent health pool, 3,000. Only 2,000 on an orchard. It feels like maybe there's extra armor on an encampment too as well. But we do manage to clean up the dwarves there with relatively few hobbit and ranger casualties. More dwarves popping out up north. I have some forward units that didn't really find anything to pick on. Maybe we got one mine, maybe not, but start looping back around. Even more rangers on the field, a whole lot of archers. We're pulling down a mine over here. He does clean up an orchard, but is now opting to get out of dodge, run back to base, because the arrows are taking a toll on these stout dwarven units. They're tough, but again, they would much rather be in fisticuffs trading in melee. They don't have a good answer for a lot of ranged fire here. More dwarves coming out. A dwarvish builder running toward the back of my base for even more mines. He's getting chased down by outriders at the moment. I lose a little track of my micro, so my archer squad ends up here. I guess I thought I had some melee in here that could have chopped up a building. But archers, of course, not very good shooting arrows at dwarven mines are not going to get the job done. So I need them back down here shooting at the dwarvish units. I'm starting to make a little bit of Breland Townsguard and some spears. And indeed, I lose another orchard here when I really shouldn't have. So we've taken some heavy economic damage. More dwarves pop out. Catch a squad of rangers that had switched over to swords up here. We're headed south. We drop at Tangalo High just because I had a big clump of units there and I'm anticipating more fighting. Tangalo High lasts for 60 seconds and gives me armor and damage buffs. We're going to be able to clear up this mine. I don't know if we get the builder here or if he managed to jump in the mine before he died. Hard to say amidst all that smoke in there. I don't see any dead builders. I think he escaped. But it's going okay. We've taken a lot of losses to our orchards and our mines and things, but we've been trading really well into the dwarvish units. So, there's two ways to get ahead in the game. Either you have a better economy by keeping your economic buildings alive longer so they can level up, or you could expand more and take more space with them, so you're getting more income than your opponent, or you could win battles favorably. We call it trading, right? If he sends a 300 gold worth of units and I kill them without losing anything, I'm 300 gold ahead of him, kind of thing. So I've been taking a lot more structural casualties, but dealing out some here. We've managed to clean up most of these forward bases. We're on another one up north with our outriders now, and we've really been trading favorably into the dwarfs with our large archer corps here. And the first Ibzanab Azgarkaka, the first dwarven chariot. My dwarvish isn't great. The first dwarven chariot's on the field, and he gets right into the archer line. However, we get a quick transition into spears on our Dunedain Rangers. Oh, Dunedain Rangers, so good. And I think he struggles with this throughout the rest of the game, identifying when there are Rangers with spears. And admittedly, it is hard to tell because they kind of look like bows if you're zoomed out. So if you don't know, our Dunedain Rangers, these fabulous fellows here, start with bows and are excellent archers. But for 100 gold, you could equip them with swords or spears. So boom, I see chariots or cavalry coming in. I can grab them, equip them with spears. It's quite fast, just takes a couple seconds. So if they're about to be trampled down and I catch them quick enough, boom, I can swap into spears. I press in up north with cavalry. We get a couple mines down, but then he manages to catch the outriders with his spears, so we pop a many meetings, which calls in 3 random units to help out. We got some tier 2 Lothlorien swords. We got some dwarves with spears to help out. We got some Mirkwood archers. And we smash a mine and we go looking for more mines. We had more dwarves push in down south, but we managed to... we do lose an orchard. At least one there. But we catch the dwarves. And again, they're struggling to trade into the heavy archer forces. They get a nice cask there and kills a ton of hobbits. Manages to actually avoid most of the spears. He's making a run for it, but fortunately horses are faster than goats. So the outriders are able to chase down the chariot. It's running for the hills, but it doesn't quite make it. A little bit of buggery. There it is, we catch him. Alright, so another chariot comes out. Outriders are able to make it back home. More dwarves, just waves of dwarves coming as if there were no tomorrow. And we've got Noldor exiles on the field because somewhere in here there's a level 4 Gildor Inglorian. Gildor's a great hero, especially great if you've got Hobbit or Brelanders, because he gives them a nice 25% damage, armor, and XP bonus. But also he has this at level 3 or level 8 an activatable ability to summon spears. In comes a dwarf chariot straight into the Noldor exiles as well as some Breland Tyrann's Guard, and it goes down. 316 of 850 for Rivendell right now, and 160 of 775 for Erebor. Rivendell, we've got him on the back foot. We clean up a couple of mines here. We've identified more. We've spotted one of his forward builders, and we're able to get our rangers on it. Boom, take the builder down, take the mines down, and it's looking very promising. Up north, we find one more sneaky mine. We task some bounders onto it, but wouldn't you know, out come more dwarves. Dwarven axemen, and also some dwarvish archers. Bounders fall back, but the time has come. The elves are on the field now. Some Dunedain Rangers. The first elvish dormitory is up, leveled up to level 2, so we could start making elvish Rivendell archers. And let me tell you, if you didn't like being shot at by hobbit archers or by human archers, you're really not going to like being shot at by the elvish archers. Pitched engagement up here, hobbit front line, elves and Dunedain in the back line. Some Breland Townsguard coming out to make sure there's no cheeky chariots causing trouble, and the dwarves get pushed back here. The force that was down south cleaning up tunnels pushes up into the mid. We don't find a lot of good targets, so apparently we're just straight into the dwarvish barracks here. We've got some Dunedain with spears, a bunch of Breland Townsguard with spears. Somehow this chariot charges through and lives, but only ever so briefly. The archers cleaning him up. I don't have any elves in this force, mostly hobbits and men, and there's a whole lot of dwarves, so we're in a very pitched battle here. Up north, the elves and hobbits managed to clean up this final forward mine here. I guess there's a forward mine down south still too. There's still forward mines all over the place. And this great mass of dwarfs melee blob does manage to chase off my aggressive forward post here. But I don't think we have too terrible. Gildor Inglorian makes it to level 5. We've got a Halber out on the field too. He's level 2. He didn't hear no bell. He's still out here shooting dwarfs. A big dwarf force does manage to pop out of this mine up north as well. So dwarves are ready to go. Front line, they got Hadhod here. He smashes down this building with his ability here, Sabotage. Target enemy building takes heavy damage and gets disabled. I think there's a Gloin in here as well. Oh, you know what it was? We missed it. It was the veterans of Mordor. Mordor Reclaimed summons 3 battalions of Khazad-dûm veterans. I just engage straight into them. I don't really need to because they're about to time out, so we take some unnecessary casualties here. But we're starting to get a critical mass of elves on the field. We can see we've got elvish archers here. Over here, elvish swordsmen. There's another squad of elvish swordsmen up front. Some Dunedain behind them. More elvish archers on the field. We have a second dormitory up. And we're starting to get into the beloved end game with Rivendell. The Dwarven Doom stacks are very dangerous, but I don't know if anybody is more dangerous than a Rivendell Doom stack. The Rivendell elves are really, really powerful. And now unfortunately, I don't have any upgrades for them yet. I keep having to rebuild my Rivendell Forge, so we're not going to have armor for them. We engage down south. Some dwarves pop out of this mine, so we do. The Rivendell calls in the many meetings to get some extra reinforcements here, along with the front line of elvish swords, and we manage to cut up the dwarfs and clean up this last mine here. Dwarves are mostly chased away from the Rivendell north, and the Rivendell army is pushing westward. Killing dwarves as we go. Who have we got here? Hadhad and the front line taking some shots. In come the chariots, actually, and we don't have great spear options here, so we do get some pretty heavy casualties. Gloin's also in here too. Rivendell pushed back from the north, doing okay down south. We do clean up all the southern mines and have a couple of guys that are pushing forward, elvish swords and Dunedain outriders. Big dwarven force with a chariot and a couple of heroes pushing in from the north. Breland Town's guard are on the field to provide the spears to guard our squishy elves, though we've got some elvish glaive users. What are they? They're the Ithari, the Rivendell Glavesmen. In comes the chariot, though, takes a lot of damage. Gets a nice cask tossed out, but the elves take it on the chin. And elvish swordsman straight into dwarvish swordsman. We'll see how it goes. Abilities popped as well. That poor forge gets burned down yet again. And it is a rout. The dwarves are going to have to book it. In the back line, Hadhod's running, level 8, and the front line, Gloin's running level 3, and both of them are in trouble. We had a forward force in their base looking for trouble that are going to come and cut off Hadhod here, chop him up. Meanwhile, the elves on foot down south chase down Gloin. It's a bad loss for the dwarfs. All their main force, all of their heroes. He's got a staunch line of troops back at his base, but he's about to lose the very last of all of his sort of far-flung mines here. And the dwarfs are finally pushed back into their base. One final last stand against the tyranny of the elves. Elves cleaning up some warg dens, grabbing some treasure off the map, cleaning up the mines. We are 600 of 650 for the dwarfs, 660 of 950 for the elves. There's a big dwarven force in the middle. Now, he's been making a lot of spears, so I'm lightening up on my cavalry use. But we are now investing in the battering rams. He engages this northern force, but I've got a pretty strong group here. Warhorns go down on both sides, and some reinforcements coming from the south, catching the dwarves in a bit of a sandwich here, caught between elven spears and swords with bows on all sides. And Breland rams coming in looking for trouble, knocking down these forward mines. Dwarf builder makes his way to the front line, but gets caught out by elvish archers, and more elves flooding the field. Swords and bows and battering rams. He calls down Thror's horde and attracts a dragon, but elves know how to deal with dragons. We don't need one Legolas to bring it down. We've got about 20 or 30 Legolas able to bring him down. However, he gets a very nice flame breath there and does admittedly cook quite a few elves. However, we managed to just DPS down the dragon and start pushing into the dwarf base. Battering rams clean up a couple mines, but now are getting chased down by some Azog Baruch. We opt to fall back and rebuild, knowing I've got a strong economic advantage. Now, he did just pull in 7,500 gold from Thror's horde here, so he can rebuild his forces as well, but I've got the much stronger economy. 1,000 command point limit. We're rapidly catching up. Tons and tons of mines. Elves getting printed like crazy. Aragorn's on the field somewhere here. Level 4 Aragorn. Level 9 Gildor. Level 4 Halbarad, and I don't think we have much of any dwarvish heroes on the field right now. Starting to push down south, getting some mines rebuilt. Does he have anything in mines? Nothing much. We're starting to get some mangonels in the field. Now, I don't know that he necessarily intends to use these for proper siege against buildings. I think the plan is to drop some fire onto the archer stacks. But Rivendell's pushing in. We catch one mangonel out of line. We call in reinforcements. Dwarves are pushing in a bit down south with some units, although he's also getting counter-pushed by rams in the south, rams in the north, and a big force down the middle with, yes, more rams. And it's looking pretty good. We're at 1,000 command points right now for Rivendell, 280 for the Dwarves. And I think they're in big trouble here. Tangalo High goes down to buff all of the front units. There's a lot of fire. He's opted for catapult expansions all around the main base, and they are tossing rocks out, but they're not able to stop the battering rams from getting their work done. Moria Reclaimed does go down. Dwarvish veterans pop out to try and defend their lands. There are a lot of Elvish archers on the field, though. Also the flood goes down in the back here. Wrath of the Bruinen clears out both of the siege shops. There's 6 rams on his fortress, and both of the barracks have been cleaned out. So regardless of what those veterans of Moria do, the dwarves have been defeated this day. Game number 1. That's all right. I got a game number 2 for you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. We're gonna switch it up a little bit here. Chorty is going to stay on his beloved dwarfs. He is a dwarf main. I've never seen or heard of him play anything else. However, I'm going to switch over to Lothlorien, that I've been doing a bit of practice on lately. See if I can keep the elf spree going here. Again, I'm opting for relatively greedy placement here. I'm maximizing my use of space in the back of my base rather than building very close to the tree. If you think it's going to be a tough game with a lot of economic rating, you really want to make sure you've got your first 3 buildings right around your main fortress so that your fortress's arrows can guard them. The greedy way to do it is to just take up as much space as possible, but these are pretty well outside of defensive range for the fortress. So if he had units that were able to get in around the back, he could be destroying things. But I'm a greedy player, so we'll just see how it goes. We've got an incredibly aggressive forward mine. Same opening for him. 2 trees into a barracks. A mine. I can already see this mine from my tree here, actually. I've gone 3 economic trees, 1 tree up into a barracks, and starting straight into the swords elves. The mine is done. He doesn't have any units to put in it yet for me. He's gone into some swords dwarves. And I think I'm holding on my expansion. Nope, we're putting up green pastures in the back. That is the tree for training elvish cavalry. First dwarves come out. They are fast on the field. Elves on the field too. See if we can get them. I don't remember if I bothered with any defensive upgrades. Nope, I teched into You Can Go No Further, which is a 4-second stun, which stuns these guys. And then we did get Starlit Lanterns, which is an additional 5-second stun. Will 9 seconds of stun be enough for these Tawarwaith to deal with these dwarves? We'll see. Doesn't look like it, actually. Unfortunately, kind of a big expenditure of resources for not a ton of gain here. More dwarves in the field. Catch the elves in a bit of a sandwich here, but we've got elvish archers as well. The tree does go down. Unfortunate. The elvish swordsmen on the front line get cleaned up. But first elvish cavalry are on the field. I love these guys. They're Nath na Lethril, I think. Tramples down those dwarves. He wasn't expecting the early cavalry from Lothlorien, so no pikes in the field, and all those dwarves pay the cavalry toll. Looks like archers and swords in his mind, so no spears ready to deal with this yet. Up north, he's got archers pushing in. He must have creeped, because he's got archers and a mostly hurt unit of swords. So he's pushing in the north. We clear out this advanced southern tunnel. 2 squads of archers, 1 squad of cavalry. Now the cavalry for the Lothlorien are really great. They're both pretty solid light cavalry, and you can equip them with bows. So if they run into the likes of a big pikeman force, normally your cavalry would be totally worthless. They manage to trample down dwarvish archers, trample down some dwarvish axemen, and get on top of a dwarvish builder. Unfortunately, I don't think we kill him because he starts building things. We clean up this other, I think he was starting another western ford or western mine over there. That gets chopped up. And another mine, another very forward mine on the eastern side. We're expanding our elvish trees. Do I have... No supplies up yet. I've gone for a second barracks. Elvish spears on the field just in case he gets cheeky. He's caught a builder but chases her back home, and the elvish force here continues following them. Elvish cavalry chases down the builder, forces him to start building something, but we actually get chased off by the wraith. He cancels his build and gets his builder home safe against all odds. Cavalry find another mine and get to work down here. Pitched battle down south. Dwarves run out, but we've got a pretty strong force here. Squads of spears and swords holding the front line, while at least 3 squads of elvish archers make those dwarves pay. And the Lothlorien tier 1 archers are very good. Very, very good. Elvish archers, pretty good at shooting bows, in case you were wondering. Light cavalry, looks like they're going to be able to clean up this mine. We start pushing a little bit east. We go to clear up a wraith den here, a barrow. He pops the repair on this building, though he doesn't have any, and he's getting a tunnel collapse for it as well. He doesn't have any spears up yet. Out come the spears. Out come more cav to come help. Tunnel collapse is ready. We drop it before the tunnel collapse can go down and he can get the spears out. All right. Good job, Cav. In the east, elves continue pushing eastward. A little unfortunate that the archers push way forward, and as the dwarves come out, they get right on top of the archers. We give them a stun, thanks to you can go no further. We also pick up the Elven Horn, a 2nd level 5 ability. He calls in the Barding Outriders because he's got himself Arca the Raven on the field. And the Outriders cause me quite a bit of trouble and run down basically all of those archers. Arca the Raven here. Lady of Ravens. Allied units get extra speed and XP. Can become invisible. Enemies lose speed underneath him. Target units gain XP. And can use Messenger of the King to summon a battalion of Outriders. More elves back on the field. Archers, archers, swordsmen, swordsmen, and a couple of spears up front. We do manage a stun as well off of the lanterns. We'll see if we can clean them up before they get this again. Archers are firing. Nope, dwarves pull it down again. Lothlorien trees are fairly squishy. Despite a number of strong defensive abilities you can tech them up with. We also have our Hidden Sanctum online, allowing us to add some Radiant Maidens to the mix. Radiant Maidens are like little sort of mini hero units that do very strong single target and AoE damage. Riders have been running around causing trouble, but unfortunately they get caught by quite a few spears here, and a lot of riders go down. The one good thing they've been doing is they've been identifying on the map where all these mines are for me so I can clean them up later. Elvish forces pressed east, or dwarfs are forced to destroy their own structures before letting us tear them down. And we're working on yet another mine, but it's full of dwarves. And a big mass of dwarves come out, and it's a pitched battle again. Dwarf Horn goes down, and the elves are running. We do have Rumiel on the field. In the back line, the Raven gets caught by some archers and shot down as a very aggressive mine placed in the back again. On the front here, we are now doing a little bit of trading, a little bit of running, some combination thereof. To the west, the mine gets canceled again. Chorty's been very solid. If he sees he's not going to be able to defend a mine, he destroys it to get a bit of a refund, save himself some trouble. I lose track of a builder. She gets murdered by dwarvish monsters. Elvish cavalry comes in and manages to clean up some of these frontline swords units as well. I did mention Rumil, right? Rumil is a very sort of standard archer. Gives a little bit of buff to Haldir and Orifin, the other heroes, if they come out, but otherwise just does a nice job. High damage, single target shots from range. Has an anti-monster ability, which is not particularly useful against the dwarves. Eventually will get at level 6, gets a bonus for vision and archer attack range as well. But he can shoot so far. He's always makes sense to invest in him because he just plinks away and accrues great value over time, and he's very hard for the enemy to kill. Dwarven chariots on the field, 2 of them coming in. First one heads right into spears. Second one catches the archers and gets a nice rundown on them. We do have a Radiant Maiden mixed into this force as well, invested with a Golden Wood Glaive, giving her a bit of AoE damage. Dwarves start popping out of the mine, and the elves fall back. I think either I invested in the... I think I did. We purchased the healing upgrade from this tree, so all elvish trees can be turned into like wells of healing that will heal anyone around it. So I'm using this as sort of a forward healing point, staging our troops by it. Up north, we've got dwarves pushing in to cause trouble. Likewise, though, we've got our own elvish spears trying to catch some of these dwarven mines. We get a fire cask on us courtesy of the chariot, and the dwarvish axemen ought to trade mighty well into those spears. Meanwhile, a strong dwarf force makes it into the top of the base and cleans up one of the elvish barracks, which is no good at all. We've summoned Sylvan allies, gets popped to call in some extra elves to help with. Most of the foot dwarfs get cleaned up, but a couple of ram chariots tear apart some elves here. Do we get him? Nope, he's done a nice job being cautious and turning around with them. In the east, the elves have managed to clean up that last forward mine. And right now we're sitting at 230 of 600 for the elves. Dwarves are 360 of 750. So I'd say maybe advantage dwarves at the moment. He's gone heavy into the rams. One of them heads straight into the spears. Not ideal. Dwarves coming out of the mine in the back. Rams go also straight into this front side, which he didn't notice. A tier 2 unit of elvish spears. I think one elf looks alike to all the other elves for him. Those dwarves can't tell us apart. So he's having trouble identifying when there's spears and when there's not spears. So those 3 chariots get pulled down there, which is really, really unfortunate. Basically, all of these units are spears. We have a unit of elvish dagger ladies, but tier 1 spears, tier 2 spears, tier 2 spears. Handful of hero units. Still a Radiant Maiden in there. Rumil up to level 4. Oh, he did use his ability on Arca. Apparently his monster shooting ability works on the Raven. That's funny. Funny and awesome, actually, because it causes the target to flee. So if the Raven comes in because it wants to drop cavalry, boom, it gets popped with that and has to run away. Alright, tough trading. 260 points on the field for the dwarves, 400 points on the field for the elves. There's a new dwarven mine in the east. Elvish cavalry went over but got lost track of, and dwarven spears pop out to give them some grief. Summoned cavalry runs into some more spears in the elvish base. There are still a handful of those tier 2 elves pushing up north. Tawar Nathirad are the elvish, they're not the sentinels, they're the pathstalkers. Tier 2 elvish swordswomen, really, really cool. If they hit at level 2, they get a super DPS boost here, plus 100% damage for 20 seconds. Also, our Radiant Maidens have just been trading quite well. They've got a strong damage profile, which lets them fight quite well into these tough dwarfs. Dwarves get cleaned up. We're now fighting this Wraith here. Wraith goes down. And we've got just elves in the field. 400 points of elves in the field. 400 points of dwarfs, but they're all stuck back at home or in the mines. We are starting to get some elite dwarfs coming out, though. The Redoubt I believe it's the redoubt. Is that what it is? The Erebor redoubt is online, and we're getting the Vault Wardens coming. Strong versus cavalry monsters and heroes. Dwarves pop out in the east, start pushing up that a ways. Elves are mostly up in the northwest, cleaning up the mines up that a ways. We got Haldir on the field as well, level 5 already. He must have been getting some work done. Haldir's a great force multiplier. Gets a strong because boosts for Orphan and Rumiel. Also gets Captain of the Galadriel, boosting allies' damage and armor. That levels up over time. Battle down south. A lot of dwarf forces down here look pretty good. Clean up a few elves that show up. Chariots coming in, chasing the archers, but the spearmen show up to sort of ward him away. Gets a nice cask toss on top of him, but these tier 2 elvish sentinels are quite tanky. Eat that cask and don't even care about it. Lot of investment in the sentinels. Elves pop Aya Erendiel to stun all the enemy units, buff their heroes, and most importantly, lower the speed and armor of all enemy heroes. Now I have a devilishly hard time identifying where a dwarf hero is in a dwarf hero blob, but regardless, this is a pretty large force of elves here. A lot of archers, a lot of sentinels, handful of radiant maidens and heroes in here. Rumiel level 5. Another dwarven chariot comes in straight into the sentinels. If they're wearing green cloaks, don't run into them, because they've got great big spears and they would love to stab your goats. Up north, there is a chariot that does catch one of the elvish builders, and I believe is able to actually run her down here. So a nice little pick off, killing a builder here. But we've got a strong elf force pushing through the middle. All the mines up north have been cleaned up. We even cleaned the Warglare and didn't gather any of the treasure. Classic. Dwarves are starting to expand down south, but starting to get cleaned up now. 540 points of the elves in the field. 580 points of dwarves, and they actually managed to get out of that mine just at the last second. We call in Sylvan Allies as well. Sylvan Allies is not only sort of a bit of a force multiplier because it summons a bunch of troops, it's also a bit of an economic boost as well, because when you call the Sylvan Allies, where's it at? Allies near the guard earn resources per kill, so if you pop them before a big fight, you'll get a lot of resources out of it as well. We did manage to clean up this building and the builder in the east, and the elves are pushing up north. Haldir, all by himself, getting chased by 3 dwarvish chariots. New squad of sentinels running up to try and save him. Will he live? He does make it back home safely. Good job, sentinels. Big elf force pushing in on the dwarf base, and unfortunately, looks like a king. Nope, it's a Gloin. Gloin on the field gets way out of position, murdered by the elves. A lot of chariots come in on the back, but placement of the sentinels is on point to ward them off. Battle on the front line. Sentinels and heroes. We got Celeborn on the field now, one of the top tier elvish heroes. Very tough warrior, has a lot of strong buffs for the elves around him. Extra speed, extra experience, fear resistance. He causes fear in enemies. Can also summon battalions of sword and bow and spear wielding units. A lot of fire casts popping in, and the elves are getting a little bit whittled down, and off goes the Moria pillar yet again, and that's the sign to leave. It's the time to go home. I've often said it. The Moria pillar, the veterans of what is it? Veterans of Moria? Moria Reclaimed, for the Khazad-dûm veterans. Super strong, but if they pop them on the defensive, you just leave, just run away. You don't got to fight that. More elvish reinforcements pushing up through the middle here. Amroth na Erpen on the field, elvish heavy cavalry coming out of the hidden sanctum here, which has been upgraded. More of them queued up as well. 240 of 625 for the dwarfs, 650 of 775 for the elves. Larger standing army and larger economic base. Veterans of the dwarves are pushing in down south, but they're actually about to time out. I don't know if they're going to actually accomplish anything. Elves slow pushing through the middle, and it's a very multifaceted force here. I guess not that multifaceted. Mostly sentinels, but a handful of our pathstalkers as well, which ought to trade into infantry. The eagles get called down. The eagles of the mountains. 2 giant eagles. Now these guys do fantastic siege damage as well, so I often just task them on destroying buildings. In come the dwarven chariots in the back, but they get all cleaned up. There's a lot of spears and a lot of archers here that are able to focus them down. And there it is. Game number 2 for the elves. Well played for Chorty. He is a valiant warrior. His ultra-aggressive dwarven style is always fun to watch and fun to play against. The way to do it, I think, is really just to sort of weather the storm. As long as you can keep the dwarves from doing too much damage and trade into them properly, you're able to get that sort of value lead. And that way, I was able to achieve that in both my elf games there, both with Rivendell and Lothlorien. A lot of fun, very powerful if you can get them to the end game state. We can get that those top tier elf units, really strong elf heroes as well. Ton of fun. That's Age of the Ring. It's a super cool, totally free, standalone mod. You can go to ModDB, download it, start playing today. We have a great community, a lot of people playing, a lot of beginners, a lot of folks picking up the game and learning. It's been so much fun. I know that I've been playing it a lot. I know all of my buddies that I play with have been playing it a lot. And we would love if you would come join us as well. So take a look at it. It's tons of fun. And thanks for watching, guys. We'll have some more Age of the Ring in the future. And probably other stuff as well if we ever get bored of this. But right now, it's going strong. See you around.